I'm Holly from hollygrace.ca and you're watching Hometalk.
To begin my project, I have my templates here, and these are available on my website, hollygrace.ca, and you can print and cut your own. So we're going to begin with the body template and the circle body template. I have my fabric here, which I just chosen this nice pink checker, perfect for spring. We are going to cut out the body template and we're going to cut it out twice. Once I have the body cut out twice, I'm going to cut out the bottom once. I am then going to cut out the hat, and this template you're going to cut out twice. I am using a nice gray fleece material here. You want to make sure you choose a material that's nice for a hat, and I find fleece the best. I am then going to take some speed sew and I'm going to put it into a separate container. You always want to make sure that when using speed sew you brush it onto your fabric. You don't want to go straight from the tube because it can get really messy. So I'm going to take a foam brush here, and starting with my body template, I'm going to go all the way down the sides and then up a little bit onto the top. I want to make sure that I leave a gap at the top so that I can stuff my gnome body. I'm then going to repeat this process on the other side, going down the body and again just up on the top just a little bit, stopping about an inch, leaving about an inch opening. I also want to make sure that I do my fabric right sides facing in. To attach the bottom, I am going to take the speed sew again and I'm going to go all along the bottom edge on one side. Then I'm going to take my circle and I'm going to place it down, making sure that I kind of pinch the fabric around the circle. Now, if you're not a fan of speed sew or fabric glue, you can most certainly sew this project as well. I am going to peel the circle back and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side of the bottom of the body, running my speed sew along the bottom and then attaching the other side of my circle. Once I have applied all the speed sew, I'm going to move on and do my hat as well. So I'm just going to go up one side of the triangle and down the other, leaving the bottom open. Once I have all the speed sew on, I'm just going to place the other layer of the hat on top and then give a nice firm press to set the speed sew. I'm going to set my pieces aside and let the speed sew set for a couple of hours. Once set, I'm going to take the body and I'm going to flip it inside right, and then we can begin stuffing our gnome body. I'm going to use rocks at the bottom to add some weight so that my gnome sits nicely on my shelf. Once I have some rocks in the bottom, I'm going to take some stuffing and I'm going to place it inside. You want to make sure that you stuff your gnome a lot. Use a lot of stuffing so that the fabric is pulled nice and tight and your gnome is nice and firm. Once the body is stuffed, I am then going to cut out a beard. So I'm just going to place this pink fur on top of my gnome, measure, and then I'm going to make sure I cut the fur from the back side so that I don't wreck the fibers of the hair. We're going to set this aside and finish our hat. So I'm going to turn the hat outside right, and then I'm going to use a pencil to poke up the top to make sure that I get all the fabric pushed out. I am then going to take these bunny ears and I'm going to cut off the ears from the headband. I want to make sure that I don't cut them straight across at the ear. I want to leave enough fabric so that I have something to push into my hat. So as you can see here, after I cut this off, I have left quite a bit of the white fabric, so that I have something to push into the hat. With my ears cut out, I'm going to attach them to my hat. I want to attach them down quite low so the gnome looks proportionate. I'm going to take my hat and I'm going to cut two little slits here down at the bottom. And I do this by pulling up the fabric and then just cutting a little slit. You don't want to make the slit too big because we want the ears to sit in nice and tight. So just a little slit will do, and then I pinch this end of the ear and I just push it through the tiny slit. Once I've done that on the other side as well with the other ear, I am then going to take a bit of hot glue and just secure the ends of the white fabric to my hat. So I just pull back the rim of the hat here and I just add a bit of hot glue underneath onto the white fabric, and then I push the rim back down. Next, I'm going to take some stuffing and I'm going to stuff it into the hat. We want the hat to maintain its shape, so the stuffing will help with that. I'm going to push it all the way up to the top. Then I'm going to take, this is an old floral pick and it has a bendable wire in it, but you could certainly use crafter's wire as well. This stick will help me bend my hat and hold it in place. It will also provide some structure for our gnome. I'm going to take my beard and I'm going to hot glue it in place just under the rim of the hat. And then I'm also going to take some hot glue and I'm going to apply this little wooden bead for my nose. Once I have glued my wooden nose in place, I'm also going to add some hot glue around the rim of the hat just to work it into place where I want it to stay. To finish off my gnome, I'm going to go around with hot glue and glue the hat completely down to the body. With our gnome done, we can then go ahead and place it in our home in our spring or Easter display. I love these cute little gnomes, and I tried a couple different styles with the ears. I put some higher up and some down more closer to the nose. You can play around with this DIY and really customize it and make it your own. Choose your own fabrics and your own style of ears to really give it your own customized touch. I really hope you enjoyed this DIY, and I hope to see you again here on Hometalk soon.